Definition of a kiss. Why a kiss is so powerful was an idea that disturbed David's mind from the moment he became aware of its existence. A lifetime later, it continued to intrigue him greatly, and he spent much of his spare time thinking about and researching it. It was precisely his curiosity about the issues of humanity that led him to pursue a career in anthropology and become an acclaimed doctor and professor by the age of 35. His first kiss had been somewhat awkward with a neighbor to whom he felt no attraction, in a hurry so his parents wouldn't discover them. The experience had left David feeling cold and unsatisfied, wondering why all his friends from school made such a big deal out of something so irrelevant. An academic explanation defines the word kiss with action and effect of kissing. For David, that was the same as saying nothing. Under the term kissing, we find the definition of to touch or oppress someone or something with a movement of the lips as an expression of love, desire, or reverence, or as a greeting. That second definition didn't explain much to David either. He knew that he had to go much further than that. Due to his busy work schedule, kissing was a subject he only dedicated his free time to. Currently, he was conducting research for the university where he worked that had nothing to do with it, and he was looking for an assistant. Sitting in his small office filled with books, he interviewed potential candidates. His long brown hair, beard, and serious eyes gave him something of a doctor's look that, despite his youthful appearance, was quite convincing. He was only a few years older than the candidates he was interviewing, but his experience was vast, and he had much to contribute. The number of students interested in the position was high. Over the years, his experience with kissing had not improved, and he had never felt the range of sensations that his friends described. So even though the topic of his current research had nothing to do with kissing, it was so vital to David that he couldn't resist asking all the candidates, "What is a kiss?" In response, he obtained a physical explanation that it was a matter of oxytocin and physical pleasure. A poetic reason alluded to the idea that kisses were a doorway to a parallel universe, representing an infinite connection with another person. Even the simplest and most basic definition suggests that a kiss is meaningful because the contraction of muscles sends pleasant impulses to the rest of the body. These definitions did not contribute anything to David. He wanted something more, a reason to explain why kissing was so addictive for some people. For him, it had never been like that. He had kissed numerous women in his life, but kisses had never affected him the way they did others. He had even wondered if it was because he should kiss men, but he confirmed that wasn't the case. The series of interviews hadn't provided him with a definition of a kiss that satisfied him. By meeting number 26, the doctor began to question whether it made sense to keep asking this of the people in his office. The candidate in front of him was a former student named Monica, whom he had known for a few years. She had studied more than one subject with him, attended several of his talks, and they had even met at a few casual events. The few times he had spoken to her, she seemed very intelligent, funny, and, without a doubt, he found her very attractive. For a moment, he hardly even asked the question. Monica looked very serious and a little nervous, but she had such a warm smile and their conversation was so pleasant that, finally, David could not resist the temptation. When she thought the interview was over, he blurted out, "What is a kiss?" Her former student smiled enigmatically, as if she had been expecting this question, and stood up. With determination, she positioned herself next to David and spun him around in his rolling chair, facing her. Monica explained that she wasn't there for the job but had come specifically to answer the question. She told him that a kiss cannot be explained with words, that it must be felt in the moment, and that if the act doesn't evoke any feelings for him, no words or phrases could change that. Monica then leaned closer to David and kissed him. At first, It was a soft gesture, an almost imperceptible touch of the lips that took the doctor by surprise. David decided to let himself be carried away by the moment and felt her press her lips more firmly against his, as both mouths melted into one. Their lips parted, giving way to tongues and teeth, which made it the most intense and passionate kiss David had ever experienced. After a few moments without any sense of time, it could have been seconds, minutes, or even years. David could never tell. She pulled away from him and left the office without saying a word. The professor let out a long sigh and wondered how long he had been holding his breath. That was a kiss that needed no further definition or explanation. Maybe what he had been searching for all this time was simply the right person to kiss him.